What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today it's time to review Chucky, the second episode. If you missed last week, I reviewed the first episode. I really did enjoy it. I thought it was really good, and this one, again, pretty damn good. And I'm going to get into spoilers, so spoiler alert. But I'm a huge fan of the Child's Play franchise. If you followed me on this channel, you probably know that. And absolutely love most of the movies. Not all. Eventually I'll review them. But Chucky, this TV series, something I was really excited about, seeing what Don Mancini can do, continuing his story from Cult of Chucky. Although I didn't like that movie that much, there was things I loved about it, but things I really hated about it, which is why I re-edited it. But now we come to the second episode, and so far there has not been any sign that this is a continuation of the story. We haven't seen anything yet. Nika hasn't shown up. Jennifer Tilly hasn't shown up. Don't know what the hell is going on there, but I really don't care, because so far this story on its own is pretty damn interesting, and I've been enjoying it a lot. And in this second episode, Chucky continues to be hilarious. His jokes are on point, not so much as maybe the first one because it had that amazing ventriloquist scene, but overall he delivers some funny lines, and I laughed at least 3-4 times, pretty hard laugh, because of Chucky and his funny dialogue, and I'll get into some of that here later. But that's the biggest positive that I took away, but also the story continuing to follow this kid. His name is Wheeler. His name is Jake Wheeler. I almost want to call him Zach Wheeler because his real name, his name in real life is Zach, and there happens to be a Major League Baseball player, very famous, and I'm a big baseball fan, whose name is Zach Wheeler, so I keep wanting to call him Zach Wheeler. Jake Wheeler, his father was murdered by Chucky at the end of the first episode. People think it was an accidental electrocution, so his father is dead, and a lot of the students now kind of feel bad, and that's understandable. They apologize. Hey man, sorry the way I treated you, you know, blah blah blah. You want to come to this party I'm throwing tonight? And on one hand, is he playing a trick on him? Maybe. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but I think it would make sense that kids would be a little nicer. These aren't like super young kids either. And that's why sometimes I'm confused why they're so horrible to this guy. It's a little unrealistic. Like, I've seen bullying. I was bullied in high school, and I saw kids bullied like really bad, but man, their life was paradise compared to what this kid goes through in this show. And we'll get into that at the end of this review, because we see the most horrific thing I've ever seen as far as bullying goes. This is something that I could not imagine ever happening, but for the purpose of this show and the development of this show and the characters, it was actually an important scene and probably necessary. And we'll get to that shortly, because it was absolutely nuts. But in this show, we get our second kill of the TV series, and I think it was even better. The electrocution kill I thought was pretty badass, although a little bit over the top. But this kill, holy shit. So you got Junior's housekeeper. She's cleaning things up. There's a cool scene where she actually cleaned right before this. She sees Chucky has a little blood spot or something on him, so she cleans him up. We see a little POV shot, and that was pretty cool. So she's cleaning up the room. I think it's, I guess it's Jake's room. And then she ends up in the kitchen, and she's checking on the dishes. She opens up the dishwasher, and there's a bunch of blades, a bunch of knives up, okay? The blades are pointed up. You're like, oh crap, is something gonna happen? And then before you can even think about it, Chucky just shoves her onto him. I'm like, oh God! And just a complete carnage everywhere, and then just blood everywhere, and she's just left there to rot all day long. And we know it's Chucky, though, who did it, obviously. Who else, right? But I guess she could have fell. But it was Chucky, because we see his reflection on one of the blades. A really cool effect that they've used a couple times in this show. And we also saw in some of the promo materials. But an awesome, awesome effect to see Chucky there laughing through one of the blades. And with this kill, we know that Chucky is Chucky. He's the Charles Lee Ray that he's always been. He's not just there to help out Jake and just kill people who deserve it, because certainly this housekeeper didn't deserve it. And he actually lies to Jake, is like, no, I swear, I had nothing to do with it. It was just an accident, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, bull crap. But we know that it was Chucky. So the cops come to investigate, and, you know, they're talking like it's accidental, but then this jerk cop who's there, this guy is just a complete asshole. And, you know, he's being rude to the parents who just, you know, their housekeeper just dead. And they're completely, you know, torn apart. And he's there, you know, talking about, you know, insinuating that it probably Jake had something to do with it, or maybe Junior had something to do with it. Where's your kid? And just being kind of a jerk about it. I found that a little unrealistic. I mean, I get it. You know, you're going to think that if you're investigating, you know, you're thinking that's kind of interesting. But usually you're not going to be you know, just complete jerk to the parents who are clearly, you know, not prime suspects, and they're mourning here. They're pretty torn up. So I just thought he was a complete asshole. There's a lot of really assholes in this show. Chucky's definitely not the biggest monster in this show, although he is the murderer, no doubt about that. But ultimately, Junior goes to this party. Jake decides not to go, and he's got this black eye, a pretty cool thing because he got in a fight with Chucky. Chucky punched him in the face, so he's got a black eye, and everyone's like, good Lord, that black eye looks good. It looks so real. So it gives him an excuse how he can walk around with this black eye. Ends up going to the party because he has to go to the party because Chucky's missing. So he knows and feels like Chucky went to that party. So he's got to go there because he knows Chucky wants to kill Lexy next because she deserves it because she's an absolute monster. But before Chucky gets to the party, we see another really cool scene of him trick-or-treating. And it tricked me. I thought it was a little redheaded little girl with a Hello Kitty mask trick-or-treating. I'm like, oh, look at, she's adorable. Oh my God, it's Chucky. So he knocks on a door. He's trying to find out where this party is. So he's asking, because he's heard there's a party, doesn't know where it is. And he's able to ask, some of the, I guess, neighbors and stuff where this party is. And it's a big party. So some of them will know. And he talks to this lady. He says, you want your treat. You tell me where the party is. She actually told him where the party was. Now, the whole conversation, for a little, looks like a little toddler practically, seemed a little unrealistic, but okay, I can buy it. And he ends up giving her an apple. Here's your treat, and it's an apple. And we know from a flashback, a badass flashback earlier, that that apple has a blade in it. Because when they showed a young Charles Lee Ray, a very young, a child Charles Lee Ray, looking psycho, sees an apple, it's got a blade in it. He thinks about eating it. Decides no. We're like, yeah, surely they're not going to have that on the screen. Blood everywhere. Oh my God. And then he has got the crazy look on his face. Chewing the apple, blood coming down. Like, oh my God, that's Charles Lee Ray. Holy crap. So what a cool flashback. Because just short. They're not giving us too much. Just a short little flashback. Badass scene. And then we get to the party where Jake is looking for Chucky. Where's Chucky? Actually, he's looking for Lexy because he doesn't want to sound like a psycho. One time I think he said, yeah, have you seen Chucky? And I'm like, your doll? No, we haven't seen him, bro. Would you lose him? But anyway, he's looking for Lexy, of course. But then him and Devin get locked up and, they're bullying him again to a point that I feel is a little unrealistic. But okay, the bullying is way over the top so far in this show. Like, wow. But I haven't been in high school for, 20-something years. So for all I know, maybe that's what kids do. I hope not. While Chucky's there, though, he plays little video games with the little girl, with the sister of Lexy, the little sister. She is so awesome. Absolutely love this character. Even from the first one, I'm glad they brought her back and she's going to play a role in this. So he's trying to get in her mind. Because we know she hates Lexy. We could tell because during that ventriloquist scene, she was doing this little smile. She was enjoying it. It was so awesome. And there's this really great dialogue and hilarious dialogue between her and Chucky that I really enjoyed. But Chucky actually finds Lexy. Lexy and Junior are kind of making out on a bed, and he's under the bed trying to get him with the knife. He's just trying to, he can't see anything, and he just keeps missing him, getting frustrated. And we really didn't know. I didn't think that he was going to kill her, but I thought maybe he would get her on the shoulder, on the arm or something. And she'd be like, oh, to find out that Chucky's after her. But he never gets her. He never gets her. And they don't even realize that he's there. Although Junior feels the bed, he feels something going on, but they never find out that Chucky was under there. But then we come to the scene where I'm talking about, if you hated Lexy before, which I think most of us do and did. Now we find out truly what kind of a monster we're dealing with. An absolute sociopath, psychopath, I don't know, but just a completely deranged human being. She's been talking about this Halloween costume that she's going to reveal. You got to wait and see. It's going to be lit. It's going to be off the chain, man. You're going to see. What's it going to be? She comes out dressed like Jake's father. Same mechanic uniform, got the fake mustache, fake all that. And she goes out and starts pretending to be electrocuted out in front of everyone, just on and on. I didn't even realize at first. I'm like, what is she tripping? Is she on drugs? What is she doing? Why is she dressed up? Why did she get them? And then when it hit me what she was doing, my heart sank. I'm like, oh, hell no. Hell no. Like, I legit hurt for Jake. Like, this girl needs to go. And suddenly, when you think about the things Chucky had been saying, sometimes people deserve to die. Trying to get Jake in his corner. Now, it's believable that Jake would go into his corner. Even though, yeah, I think that bullying is a little over the top, especially the fact that the other kids are clapping and going. Now, maybe the kids, are just because she's the popular girl and they kind of have to go along. Peer pressure, maybe in their mind. They're like, dude, this is so effed up. Oh my God. Yay. Go, Lexy. This girl is psycho. That's what I have to tell myself to accept, that the whole school would be cheering along with this if they understood what's going on. There's no way somebody would come up and be like, dude, what are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. But nobody did that. But it's high school. Lexy is an absolutely horrible human being. And, in a horror film or horror show, she needs to go. She needs to go, and I'm never going to like her. And I hope that this show doesn't try to turn this around and make her likable later or something like that, or make her into some kind of protagonist, because I saw that she was in some of the previews for some of the later shows. Please don't do that, because I will never like her under any circumstances. I cannot wait for Chucky to put a knife into this bitch. But then at the end, we get another awesome scene, dialogue between Chucky and Jake. Some really funny moments. Chucky's just hilarious. Like I said, he's got it back. All that humor is back, and it's on point in this show. So I really enjoyed that final dialogue between them two. And in this dialogue, he actually offers him the knife. He says, take it, Jake. You know you want it. You know you want it. And when Jake takes it, that's kind of a symbol that Jake is on board with this. Jake is on board with this because he knows what Lexy did was unforgivable. It's over the top. And look, in a real life situation, I'm not saying she deserves to lose her life, but in a horror situation, she's got to go. Pure and simple. And before anyone else gets a knife, I hope that she does, because she's awful. So there you have it. That's the second episode of Chucky. That's pretty much mostly positives. The only thing I'll say, there's some character actions that I feel is over the top. The way the cops treated the parents, and of course Lexy's behavior, just insane. But again, there's a purpose for it, so I forgive that. In fact, I understand that, and it's probably best for the show what Lexy is doing and the way she's behaving. There's an interesting coincidence that I guess Devin's mom is also the cop that's investigating. There's a lot of coincidences in this show that I find kind of unlikely, but I'm able to forgive it because it's not terrible, over the top, constant. The way that people talk sometimes is not that great, but it's not over the top, constant Halloween kills. I'm talking to you. Overall, it's solid, and I really enjoyed this episode as well. And there was things I didn't like as much in the first, but there was a lot that I liked even more. The development of the characters and the story, and Chucky's humor. Yeah, you didn't get that ventriloquist scene in this one, of course, but still, really good. So overall, I think I enjoyed it about just as much. So I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10 as well. That's my take on it. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below if you enjoyed the second episode of Chucky. I can't wait for episode 3 coming next week. So far, so good in this series and really enjoying it. Not perfect, but I'm really enjoying it. You guys have a great day. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time.